So, when I have had interactions with millennials, one of the things that I find very interesting is that so many of them have tattoos. And the tattoos are really quite beautiful. They are expressions of unity, they are expressions of love, they are a way to have something imprinted on their body that reminds them and other people that they are wanting to show another sense of beauty. We recently met a young man who had this absolutely beautiful sacred geometry tattoo on his chest that was like a lotus flower, and um, it was just lovely. And he had no idea when he went in to get a tattoo what he was going to get. It was almost like he allowed the universe and the creative flow to bring something quite beautiful in fruition. And it shifted his life. He is now really working to become that expression of that beauty. It reminds him, and that's absolutely lovely. When I was growing up, and I would talk about the things that I thought were valuable, my parents would basically say, well, that's good and fine, but you need to get a job. You need to be practical. You need to find a way to fit into society. And I think that as a parent, I did something very different. You know, Greg and I have said to our children, find what it is that you love and do it. Bring your gifts forward. And so that is so much of what is going on now. And now we are here to see the fruits of that, to be able to welcome their brilliance, to welcome what it is that they can teach us, and how together we can transform the world. And what we know from everything that we've been through is that the most powerful thing that we can do is to create the connections that allow us to have more of a sensitive, loving, compassionate, heart-centered, and soul-based consciousness. And the more we work on that, and the more we collaborate and work together and listen with our heart, listen with our full being, then this old structure can continue to go through its evolutionary phase of disintegration and be able to open up to allow the new to come forward. And we don't necessarily know specifically what it looks like or what the outcome will be, but instead we can trust that together this can happen. And the millennials hold a powerful key. They have a beautiful voice in all this. And it's really a wonderful experience to allow, to welcome, and to be empowered, and to support the empowerment of all individuals to come forward with what their truth is.
And earlier when I spoke about the brain shifting, and that's a reflection of what's going on in the higher levels, there are so many things happening in the shifting of the dimensional realms that is showing up here in the form of technology. Over 100 years ago, light bulbs were first, brought into, this dimension. And we had so much technology start coming in with the electric motors and with watching radio and TV, and all these things start happening. Well, now this is another arrow that's been shot at the millennials, and that is that they're caught up in technology. But the technology that they're caught up in, it has pluses and minuses like everything in this dimension, because we're in a dimension of duality. But when used properly, one of the things that technology is doing is it's connecting everyone. Everyone is feeling that their personality is part of the larger personality. Their communication is indeed communicating with multiple people simultaneously. So there are aspects of telepathy that are being put there in front of us, preceding the telepathic aspects of our being coming into full play. There are aspects of connection that are going on with this technology that's happening in a worldwide way, where we understand what people are going on in their lives, what's happening to them all over the world. And there's an empathy that is often developed if we allow ourselves to move in that direction of feeling and not let the technology cut off the feeling. So the pluses and minuses, that's one of the plus sides that many of the millennials are working with. There also have been accused of being very narcissistic, but in truth, we all have to begin with ourselves and connecting within ourselves to open up to the bigger part of ourselves so that we can discover that we are a we, that we are not simply in isolation, separate from everything, but it begins with that perceived inward journey, that perceived self-reflection, that sometimes perceived narcissism. And if it stays there without blossoming up and outwards, it could remain perhaps a negative thing. But ultimately, for many, what's happening is they then see that their only purpose in life is to be of service to all, as has many of the millennials been accused of, wanting to make an impact in the world, wanting to make a difference, wanting to really be part of the whole. And so here we are today, coming together and feeling how much we have in common with the millennials and how much we love seeing the consciousness being opened up within another generation of human beings that are going to be able to take us further in to our joy, our love, our consciousness as human beings, and our ability to be able to express ourselves fully.
And that's what it's about, having a loving, joyful, empowered life, a creative life, where we can allow these amazing souls that we are to shine and to contribute and to radiate their unique way. It doesn't need to be like everyone else. It doesn't need to be the way that someone told you it should be. You are valuable in the way that you are. And even though the struggles are there, the struggles teach. They teach you how to be more focused and clear about your gifts. And that is worth everything. So when you feel that you don't fit in, whatever generation that you are, that's a true feeling. That is something to acknowledge. And rather than feel worthless because of that, instead, let it be your cue to find your worth, to find your seat of joy and brilliance. Express yourself and be a real contributor in a powerful, powerful way, each being together in their own unique and wonderful way.
So thank you. Thank you for joining us today.
Blessings.
Blessings.